achieve fame and fortune. I worked hard in school. Sometimes I would stay up studying until midnight. But in 1877, my life changed. I married a man named Harvey Doe. At the time, he was my perfect match. So we married and then moved to Central City to start a new life. I was a housewife. I cooked, cleaned, sewed, and kept the house clean and healthy. My husband Harvey worked in the mine. Well, he thought it was working. The people my husband worked with found me so beautiful, they nicknamed me Baby Doe, and it stuck. But my real name was Elizabeth Bondell McCourt Tabor, named after my mother, Elizabeth McCourt. After the mine stopped making money, because there was no more silver, Harvey started to drink. And all he did was drink. He didn't work. He was flirting with other women instead of doing his job. So I knew that I had to be the one to step in and do the dirty work. So one day I slipped on some rags and headed down to the mine. Now, I worked, and it was not the best thing to do, but I knew I had to do something. When I came home, I knew I was in for it. Harvey blew his top. He was not happy about what I did. He said a woman should be proper and clean the house, not work in the mine. So I drew the line with Harvey, but I decided to give him one last chance. He went on a business trip, but while he was on his trip, I went into labor. Sadly, I gave birth to a stillborn baby boy. It was the saddest thing I have ever encountered, and Harvey wasn't there to hold me during that brief time. So I decided to sue Harvey for a divorce because I did not want to live my life that way. A few years later, I remember getting caught in a love triangle between my love at the time, Horace Tabor, Augusta Tabor, and me. Now, I did not realize that Horace was married, so I knew that that was not a good thing to do. But I knew I was in love. So Horace decided that he was going to divorce Augusta to marry me. So one day, he walked up to Augusta and said he wants a divorce. But Augusta refused. Now, Horace was not going to let that stand between our love. So he went behind Augusta's back, and the papers were signed, and not long after, we were married. We had 2 children together, Lily and Silver Dollar. They were my pride and joy, and I loved them so much. Like all things, good times have to come to an end, and that's exactly what happened. I remember it well. The silver fall of 1893. It destroyed our wealth, and our mines were shut down, and we had not a penny to spare. I couldn't afford anything for Lily and Silver Dollar, so I sent them off to boarding school. And now Horace knew that he had to do something about this, or we would be flat broke and possibly die of starvation. So he decided to get another job. But Horace died shortly after that of appendicitis. And as a widow, I knew I had to stay strong. So I went venturing to find a way to regain my wealth. After months and months of searching, I finally stumbled upon an old mansion. It was owned by a family who lived on property I used to own. Now that family was kind, but they didn't give me a pretty place. Yes, I had to work in the mine in order to keep up with the bills, or I would not have a place to live. Now, the mine, it was absolutely horrible. I hated getting dirt under my precious fingernails. It was, I don't want to talk about it anymore. So, the saddest part was I never saw Lily and Silver Dollar again. And I prayed that they grew up to become great women, just like their mother. But one day, I sat myself down and I said, Elizabeth, look how far you've gotten. You've gone through a divorce, many losses, a severe tragedy, the Silver Fall, and you're living a great life today. And it would not have happened without that family. They gave you love, support, care, food, water, and shelter. And I couldn't have asked for more at that brief time. So I say to all of you, with hard work and determination, anyone can conquer what I did. Now, before I head back to the mine, are there any questions?